It's Friday, which means it's time for me to put myself out there and do my own NFL mock draft. We're doing just the first round, no trades, no funny business. Just going to go through it, check out the possibilities. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. We'll be here tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow for a watch-along. We're going to be checking out the Oklahoma-Texas game, the Red River Shootout. So join us for that. Is it the shootout, right? I always want to say showdown. But we'll be there for that, so come join me. Kick back, chill, watch some good Big 12 play before they head to the SEC. But let's go ahead and get into this. I'm using the Draft Network draft order. If you got a problem with the draft order, I don't care. So we're going to go through this. Houston Texans. So there's the one point of view that's like, hey, there's not really this quarterback class. It's kind of sus. It's a little bit questionable. I get it. I understand it. So if you want to go with like Kayvon Thibodeau, if he's your top prospect, go right ahead. You can maybe make a case for an Evan Neal. Maybe Derek Stanley, not so much, but probably mainly those two prospects right now. Just because Stanley has the foot injury, we won't see him until the off-season process for the draft. But I think Thibodeau, I think Neal makes sense. However, we saw Davis Mills. I know he's a rookie. He's also a third-round pick. If you're picking number one, might as well get your pick of the gander, right? Especially a quarterback. You got to imagine one of these guys stands out. One of these guys blossoms. One of these guys just projects to the top. So I'm going to go with Malik Willis. He is currently my top quarterback. I think he probably has the highest upside of any of the quarterbacks in this class. I mean, dude, as a runner, man, he's very Cam Newton-esque in terms of you can hit him, but the dude, good luck. Like, I think he has 24 missed tackles on the season, so pretty solid. He got better as a passer this year. The ball placement's a lot better. There's still a bit ways to go, but I'm encouraged with the development. Keep in mind, former Auburn transfer. There's a pedigree. He was highly sought out by a Power 5 school, an SEC school, nonetheless. So let's go ahead. Real quick, I'm going to close my door. Did you know this video was sponsored by Underdog Fantasy? Yeah, man. It's like DraftKings. It's like FanDuel. You go to Underdog Fantasy, get the app, use promo code Broshmo, gets you $10 on top of your first $10 deposit. So that's $20 you get to play with. Don't forget promo code Broshmo. Just gonna throw that out there. I had to go close the door, so why not? The Jaguars. I think this comes down to two guys for me, right? It's either Thibodeau, it's either Evan Neal. Evan Neal kind of makes a ton of sense if you want to protect your quarterback. Well, I mean, you do want to protect your quarterback. I can't imagine Cam Robinson coming back to the squad. Man, what is it? Is it Jawan Taylor? He's been all right this year. He hasn't been like it's much better than what we saw during his sophomore season. So he's trending in the right direction. Yeah, you got Walker Little there. He could also play guard as well, which, I mean, with AJ Cann kind of being terrible right now, yeah, you might end up playing him at guard. But instead of Evan Neal, I'm going to trust that maybe Walker Little's the left tackle of the future. I'm going to go with Thibodeau. He's the top prospect for a lot of people. Josh Allen, I don't know if that cat gets extended. I mean, there's a good possibility, but man, Smoot's kind of been the better pass rusher between the two in terms of pressure. Like, Smoot's the one hitting home. I know Josh Allen, a lot of teams see it. Like, it's not a knock on him, man. It's just you kind of hope you're getting more. Maybe this kind of helps because, like, Smoot in that scheme, he's a guy that could kick to the 5-tech, 3-tech, while Thibodeau, Allen, they could be your outside guys. Yeah, they got Chazon still there, but yeah. pass rush kind of needed. I mean, Thibodeau, he's kind of like everyone's top prospect currently. The Detroit Lions, I think I'm going with Kyle Hamilton. Safety, it sounds right. I know we could discuss quarterback, but I mean, I don't know. For me, like Corral, it's a bit early, especially after the little hiccup at Alabama, which a lot of that's not his fault. Doesn't take him out of the first round for me. Sam Howell, he's a bit more tempting here, but I don't know. If you're not sold on a quarterback in this class, I don't think you need to go quarterback, let alone it'd be the second one off the board at this point. So, again, I'm going just Kyle Hamilton. I think he really helps out that defense, especially in the back end. Pair him up with Tracy Walker. You got a couple of young cats out there in Kuda once he comes back healthy next season. You got, Amani Aruwari. You got Fatu Melifonwu, who I think returns, if not this week, next week. So like you got some youth there. You can bring in some veteran, like a veteran presence. But Kyle Hamilton is he's a blue chip prospect. He's among the top in this class. Don't really need a tackle with Sewell and Decker. So yeah, we do that. The New York Jets. I know a lot of people think, oh, Evan Neal, no brainer. They need a tackle. Hold the phone. George Fant's actually playing pretty good at left tackle right now. Like, he's a guy that I feel like is coming into his own. You can maybe pop him back over to right tackle once Becton comes back healthy. Morgan Moses, I know he's on a 1-year deal, but they could realistically bring him back. Everything going wrong with the Jets' offensive line has been the guards, Greg Van Roten and Elijah Vera Tucker. So I'm not picking a guy to be my guard here, or I'm not moving maybe a fan inside the guard. So we're just going to go with the cornerback depth. They really need help. They need talent at cornerback. I think that could definitely be approved. Derek Stingley, he's a top 10 prospect in this class. I think easily right now the top corner. You know he has it from an athletic perspective. The guy's showcase ball skills. The last 2 seasons, he's out the rest of the season again with I think it was a foot injury that they said, but we'll see him during the combine and this whole offseason process, so I'm not too worried. This one's easy. For the Giants, we're going Evan Neal. Makes a ton of sense, right? Nate Solder, he's not playing well. Matt Pert, I don't really know what they're doing. He couldn't win the job against Solder. But the little we've seen from him this so far this season, I feel like it's been better than Solder. I thought he looked all right during the preseason. I don't know what. Apparently, if they're not high on him, is what it is. Let's get Evan Neal. He played right tackle all 2020. He's playing all left tackle this season, so you kick him out on the right side. Get DJ some help. DJ's playing good football, man. I know a lot of people find it hard to believe, but he's playing good football despite how terrible his offensive line is. This one's the Atlanta Falcons. I guess you could go quarterback, but Matt Ryan, man, he really shook off, whatever it was going on with him. Because he was looking sucky, but he's looking a bit better right now. So he shook it off, I guess. He Taylor Swifted. I don't think you have to go in on this quarterback class just yet. I think Matt Ryan, he's still got a little left in the tank. So maybe someone emerges in the 2023 class. So instead, let's address the defense, because the secondary's kind of no bueno. The cornerback room needs some help outside of AJ Terrell. I don't know, some people like Isaiah Oliver doesn't look. He's been all right okay this season, but still, you can improve upon that. But we're going to go with edge because edge seems prime here. Because you get your pick of the gander from a DeMarvin Leal, Aiden Hutchinson, Kingsley Enagbari. So I'm going to end up going with Aiden Hutchinson, a guy that I think he can do it as a stand-up pass rusher. He can do it with his hand in the dirt. He can maybe kick inside occasionally if you want to. The guy, he did come back 10 pounds lighter this season to be a bit more twitchy. And he has, so I don't know how much he can really kick into the inside and be effective, but the guy's got the power and the length to do so, so I don't see why not. Aiden Hutchinson just makes, I think, a ton of sense, especially if we're not going to go quarterback. Eagles, all right, we got the Colts picks, so we got all 3 Eagles picks here. I think this one's actually via the Dolphins. You're welcome, Eagles fans. So we could go quarterback. Again, if you're not sold on this quarterback class, Jalen Hurts, like, I think what we've seen from him has been encouraging, so we don't have to go in on that. So we could either add depth, just some good young talent, because this roster does need a bit revamping and it needs a bit of a youth movement in certain areas. So I'm going to go with DeMarvin Leal, but myself, I see him more as an edge rusher if I'm the Eagles picking him up, because Fletcher Cox, a guy that they could maybe move on from in the near future. He's still playing good football. They're getting good football from Hargraves. They do have Milton. Is it Milton Williams from Louisiana Tech? I think with Derek Barnett, he's not coming back. They could bring back Sweat. Brandon Graham, he's like 33, 34 next year. So for me, Leo, I'm bringing him in with the ability to kick inside occasionally, but mainly he's going to be my edge guy. Oh, man, my dog. Oh, Gojo, buddy, what's up? Oh, Gojo, he wants to announce the next pick here for the New York Giants. So who are the Giants going, my dude? Because they just went with Evan Neal. What do they need? He says they need some pass rush. Well, shoot. I mean, Leal's off the board. Hutchinson's off the board. I guess we're going with Kingsley and Enagbare out of South Carolina. No one's talking about this cat. All right, Gojo. Thank you for your help, man. Thank you for announcing the 8th pick in the draft. Oh, my gosh. You're a good dog, Gojo. But we're going to go with Kingsley and Enagbare. No one's really talking about him, and he has been as dominant as Aiden Hutchinson in the SEC. This dude's no joke. Look at this. He was 91, I believe, last time on the Draft Network's big board. Now he's up to 52. This dude's legit. He's the real deal. I think when it comes to this edge class, you got Thibodeau, and then that next tier, that next group, you got Hutchinson. You have Enagbare. I think Drake Jackson's on the outside looking in. He's playing some great football, but he needs to prove it against some harder competition, which you'll have later on in the form of Arizona State's Kellen Deitch and Sean Ryan from UCLA. So he will get that opportunity. Well, I didn't even make the selection yet. There we go. Kingsley and Enagbare. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like you have to go quarterback here. Big Ben, he's not that mobile anymore. The dude ain't making some moves. the dude ain't moving. He got a bad hip. His play just hasn't been that great. You got to move on. You got to get a new quarterback. I think the safest pick at this point for me, and a guy that really really fits that Steeler culture. So I know some people are probably screaming, banging their fists down for a Matt Corral. I'm going with Sam Howell, man. The guy's got a big arm. I think he's for the most part, he's actually a pretty darn good decision maker. I know he's a guy that sometimes has a hard time coming off his first read. The offense is very simplistic there, being very RPO heavy, Mac Brown's offense. But I like Sam Howell a lot. I still believe in the talent, the guy, I think he's getting a good dose of what it might be like in the NFL. That he's having to like make plays because the pieces around him aren't helping him. That offensive line not helping him. He was sacked, I think, like 7 or 8 times against Georgia Tech. Like, the dude was pressured 27 times in that game. That's ridiculous. And his only real legit playmaker, Josh Downs, like, he's not getting help, man. The cat's not getting help. So I think it's actually good for him because when he gets to the NFL, especially to this offense with the Steelers, he has playmakers. He has weapons. Holy moly. They just need to, get things sorted out with the offensive line. So I like this. We got the Philadelphia Eagles. This is their pick 2. I say the corner class is really good. Let's go with whoever the number 2 corner is for me. which being Kyer Elam, dude. The dude's really good. I think he may not have elite speed, but he does have those shutdown corner traits in terms of length, how he plays. I think he's going to be very explosive. Guy has a nose for the ball as well. I think he's definitely top 10. So we get our corner there, maybe eventual replacement, maybe immediate replacement if they don't bring back Steve Nelson. He could challenge, I guess, Zach McPherson on the outside because it looks like Maddox is going to hold it down the slot. He's doing actually a really good job there this year. So, yeah, let's just grab more talent. Cornerback, very volatile position, so it's important to have a lot of talent there. The Cincinnati Bengals. We're going, we could go in a variety of different directions, could we? We could go corner. I think corner is a possibility because, was it Chidobe? Owuzie. He's all right, but Train Waynes is no bueno there on the outside. I know a lot of people want to go with offensive tackle, but really I think the problem this year, because Riley Reif's doing a good job. I know he's only on a 1-year deal, but still I think he's doing a good job. And then Jonah Williams is doing a fantastic job. The problem's been with the interior. Trey Hopkins, Quinn in Spain. They need to improve on that interior position. I'm gonna go with my top interior player in this class, a favorite of mine, Tyler Linderbaum. Ideal scheme fit for this offense, man. For the Zach Taylor offense, dude. Zach Taylor, he likes to get his guys going in motion, going in he likes them to block well on the move. That's Tyler Linderbaum, most athletic center in this class. Carolina Panthers. Speaking, I said that Linderbaum's the top interior player for me, but a guy that's fast rising up my board, who I actually kind of consider a tackle, is I'm going with Icky at NC State. He's currently playing left tackle, and he's been shut down this whole season there at NC State. I think it's worth giving him a shot to play tackle there in the NFL. Worst case scenario, he's going to be a fantastic guard. Bruce Feldman, he put Icky on his freaks list, called him the Mekhi Becton of the guard class, but again, I think he can play tackle. And worst case scenario, he ends up playing guard for you. It's really good that the Panthers kind of need two guards, right? Both guard spots are kind of shaky, so I think it works out. Worst case scenario, it works out. You know, if he doesn't work out at left tackle, you're kicking him inside. So I like it. And then this is the Eagles' final pick. We get 3 picks inside the top 13. I could see them trading, maybe investing in the 2023 draft with at least one of these picks. So we could have went a variety of different ways with the Eagles. We could get some more depth along the offensive line. But this offensive line class, there's a few question marks. Like Darion Kennard I don't think is a bad option here. Like maybe they move on from Lane Johnson eventually, so Kennard comes in, plays right tackle, or like Brandon Brooks. Like who's his heir apparent? Is it going to be Landon Dickerson, or is Landon Dickerson going to be your center? So and Kennard's a guy that can play, that projects probably better as a guard. So a lot of questions, but I'm sticking with the defense. The Eagles have one of the worst linebacking cores in the NFL. So I went with Devin Lloyd. I think he projects best to the NFL currently. Devin Lloyd might not have the elite athleticism of some of these guys like Brandon Smith, Christian Harris, Nakobe Dean, Mike Jones, Henry Toto. I bet you Jones, he ends up coming back because Coach O ain't playing him. I don't know why. But even Brian Asamoah, who a lot of guys are going to like because the dude is a terrific athlete. It's just production needs to catch up, But I'm going with Devin Lloyd because he's a guy that can stack blockers. He's very good against the run. He's actually very good as a pass rusher. He can literally take on centers and interior players there. Very explosive. He's lengthy. He shouldn't be a liability in coverage. He should be able to block passing lanes. He's very explosive in terms of how quick he gets to like the flats, how quick he gets to the sideline. I think he's got that like lateral explosiveness. Is that how you would refer to it? But yeah, Washington, they need quarterback. Like Tyler Heineke ain't bad, but get someone with a little more upside. I think this is where we go with Matt Corral. He's the quarterback of the future. He's got a higher upside than a Taylor Heineke. I keep saying Tyler. I don't know why. So yeah, we're gonna go with Corral. Get the quarterback, the quarterback. I don't know, man. Maybe corner is a possibility. I feel like secondary there and in Washington's kind of in disarray, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. All right, the Patriots. This one was easy for me. A lot of people want to say corner, especially now that Stephon Gilmore's gone. But I really believe they're gonna find a way to bring back J.C. Jackson. They got Jalen Mills as the other outside guy. Jonathan Jones is the slot. Is it Joan? The former corner out of Vandy, I believe. Apparently they're really happy about what they have in him as like depth piece. So I don't think we have to go corner. I want to go get receiver. For me, I like Garrett Wilson as a better fit. He's better after the catch, or better after the catch. I think he's better after the catch than Olave in terms of this guy forces missed tackles. He's a guy that can consistently attack all levels, and I think that's a better fit for Mac Jones in general. The Vikings, they need corner. Always and forever. So for some people, Andrew Booth is their next corner off the board. He struggled a bit, so I knocked him down a few notches. I'm going to go with Ahmad Gardner. I think he'd be a good fit for Mike Zimmer. So he gets that guy, can come in, play some press, play a little bit of cover 3, maybe cover 2 if they need him to. So, yeah, man, he's playing great football. I had a pick against Notre Dame this past week, too. All right, so this one, I like this pick. I like it. Tennessee, we know what the lifeline is there in Tennessee's, like when it comes to their offense, and it's Derrick Henry. He pumps the life into this offense. He is this offense. Ain't nothing to take away from Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill does a fantastic job. Matter of fact, his offensive line could do a better job of blocking for him. Nate Davis is suffering from a down year after really showing, like, I thought he was really showing steps in the right direction after a rocky rookie year where he probably shouldn't have started. But I was like, okay, this guy's really stepping his game up. He's kind of been rocky as a pass protector. Roger Saffold's probably been their best offensive lineman this year. Ben Jones is up there. Is up there in terms of his inconsistency. Taylor Lewan, dude, I don't know what's up with him, dude. He needs to figure out some things. So I went with the guy that I was like, you know what? He could probably come in. He could play tackle maybe, or he could play guard. I'm going with, this is Darion Kennard. Is he listed as an interior? Yep. So he come in, play right tackle, and I know they got Dylan Radins. They brought him in, but I mean, worst case scenario, Kennard kicks into right guard, or eventually Saffold. I could imagine them moving on from his contract in like 2 or 3 years. What, I think he's on a 2-year deal, right? Can't remember. I don't know. I'll know more about this stuff during the off season. But then what? Maybe you kick Kennard or you kick Davis to left guard. I think it gives you some possibilities. I think you really need to address the offensive line. I mean, Derrick Henry, dude. If he ain't going, then this offense ain't. They lost to the Jets. The Jets were getting in. They were getting in, dude. Oh. Golly. New Orleans Saints. I almost said New York Jets. Chris Olave. Yeah, this one's easy. They need more playmakers. And Chris Olave, they get that nice deep threat. Guy's got some real burners, but he's also a very good route runner. I think he's just a good fit. He's a bit different from what they already have there at wide receiver. So he's been a favorite pick of mine for the Saints. So I like that. Denver Broncos, we're going to go quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think is the quarterback of the future. So I'm going with Spencer Rattler. I know it's a bit divisive for people. The guy's got the arm talent, right? We still got a whole conference schedule for him to go through. He's got a big test coming up this tomorrow in Texas. Be there for the stream. He could really turn it all around. He really has that ability. He looked a bit better this past week. Not great, but a bit better. Step in the right direction. But the guy has all the arm talent in the world. He just needs to see the field a lot better, man. He plays very, I guess, unruly, undisciplined. Wants to always make the big play, and that's not been there for him this year, man. He's not been that accurate downfield, so he's been dumping it off a lot. And doesn't feel like a guy going through his reads, but a guy just looking for someone open. If that makes sense. So, yeah, Rattler, he's got some issues, but again, this quarterback class. I mean, look at the rest of this quarterback class. Like a lot of people really like Sean. I don't think he's there yet. I feel better about him on day 2. Same with Ritter. I feel better about on day 2. Like the dude's so inaccurate downfield. Kenny Pickett just doesn't have elite arm talent, but man, he has really looked good this year. Jake Haener, oh man, I want to forget about that Hawaii game. JT Daniels, he's been beat up, hasn't seen the field. Phil Jakovic, he's probably returning. Keaton Slovis might lose his starting job to Jackson Dart. Jack Cohn, do I really need to say much more? Him and Graham Mertz, do I really need to talk about those guys? Jaden Daniels, stupid, inaccurate, probably returning. So, yeah, like for me, I think Rattler is probably, like, if you really want to get a quarterback in this class, I feel like that Willis, Rattler, Howell, and Corral are really the only 4 that I feel comfortable taking in the first round. Even Spencer Rattler, I don't feel that comfortable. My butt's full clench. Las Vegas Raiders, this is actually one of my favorite picks. So they've dealt with some injuries at corner this past week. Casey Hayward, he is on a 1-year deal. So I went ahead and I was like, let's address corner. Mullins was hurt this past week, so they had to start Amik Robertson on the outside, and that's just not ideal. He's 5'8". He's a slot guy. You don't want to have to start that guy on the outside. So I went with Trent McDuffie, dude. Trent McDuffie's been extremely good. He's been shut down this season. The guy has been fantastic. My dog locked himself in my room. Hold up. What you doing, Gojo? Trying to record. New York Jets, baby. What did I do with the Jets? So, I know. We talked about, oh, man, they need help on the offensive line. It's the guard position, so let's go ahead. Let's get them a guard, all right? Kenyan Green out of Texas A&M. He's a good fit for a LaFleur scheme in terms of like an outside zone blocking scheme. He's very good, very athletic. He's been playing all over the offensive line this year to his detriment sometimes. That Arkansas game, he really got messed up when they threw him at left tackle randomly after playing right guard the whole game. But I think he's a guy that can come in. His most natural position, at least that I feel like, has been left guard, the spot he played all 2020 in. So he could come in and immediately, bam, he's your left guard. So, and hopefully Elijah Vera Tucker, he improves, and it feels like, oh man, maybe we have this offensive line thing figured out. Bam. The Chargers, I went with pass rush. This guy's just such a good scheme fit for the Chargers. And Drake Jackson, a guy that could play that like 9 tech, incredibly good, like good movement skills. The guy's very athletic. He's made a couple of very athletic plays. I think he has like, it's either like he has 2 picks this year, I think. I think it's either a pick and a pass breakup, or he actually has 2 picks. But he's been going off. We've seen the consistency with Drake Jackson. That's been my big criticism of Drake Jackson, that 2020, he was very inconsistent. Even if you go back to his freshman season, he would run hot and cold. Well, right now, the guy has just been hot, like blazing, like, we're seeing that high end upside. He could go a lot earlier than this. I would say he's very close to that tier with Hutchinson and Negbari. The Miami Dolphins. We could go receiver here. Who do you feel good about here? Like Jahan Dotson? Cool. I think Jahan Dotson might end up being a slot guy. But, I mean, you could win outside. What am I saying? George Pickens, I don't know. The guy's not going to play this season. We're going to see him hopefully during the draft process. Treylon Burks, he's a big guy with good speed for his size that's got a limited route tree. But, again, he's a big guy. Doesn't have a contested catch at all this season. He's 0 for 7 on contested catches. I kind of want to see a bit more. So it's hard to justify him maybe in the first round at this point. Like Dotson, you could make a case for. But we got Jalen Waddle. I feel like that clashes. John Mechie, don't get me started. I don't even think he's the best receiver on his team. Drake London. I love Drake London. I actually honestly thought about Drake London at this point. Instead, I was like, let's just go ahead with the defense. Some people might be like offensive line. Listen, I think that offensive line needs some veteran leadership. I'm done getting younger on the offensive line because it's beating up our quarterbacks in general. Doesn't matter who's back there. They're getting hit. They're getting smacked around. I don't like it. Let's get some reliable veterans in there and help develop these guys rather than throw them out there and just have them getting their butts kicked down to down. So, I'm going to go with linebacker. I think Christian Harris is a good fit for this defense. He's a guy that doesn't do too well when asked to play in zone a lot. So I think a coverage scheme that asks its linebacker to man up a lot, which is the Dolphins, they do it 70% of the time. Their linebackers, when they go into coverage, they're playing man. So Christian Harris, dude, stupid athletic. I think it really fits. He's a guy that you also play around with and bring in on a blitz. You get creative with. I like it. Dallas, this was a bit hard. A lot of people won't go secondary. Secondary is playing pretty well at this point. We could do Andrew Booth, but I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead. Because Micah Parsons, I feel like they're going to use him as this like hybrid, like the Randy Gregory role. I don't think Randy Gregory comes back. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, but they need more. They're not really getting a lot of pass rush from anyone thus far this season outside of Parsons and Osa Odighizuwa because, well, DeMarcus Lawrence has been hurt. So I was like, let's just go ahead. Let's invest in this very good edge class. So that's what I did. And I actually went with the guy that I think if they develop a little bit, which I think they could afford that time because they have some decent talent there at like edge. It's just, I feel like it could be better. So Myjah Sanders, I think he works really well with Dallas's scheme. He's long, explosive. I think if he just learns a bit better how to use his hands a bit more properly, he could really take advantage of that. Seeing more move from him because the guy, he's very explosive off the edge, very like lanky. So like the ingredients are there for a very destructive pass rusher. So yeah, Cardinals. This one was kind of a no-brainer. I just went with Andrew Booth. He's a good fit for the scheme. Andrew Booth should be a good fit for a variety of different schemes just because they play a variety of different coverages there at Clemson. But, just the up and down play the last few weeks, it's kind of got me a bit worried, but he might be the most, outside of Stanley, might be the most athletic corner among that top five there. So, yeah, we pull the trigger right here. I don't think he realistically falls too much. And I mean, I imagine he'll turn it around before it's all said and done this season. The Baltimore Ravens. This one was a bit tough. We could have went a lot of different ways. I just went for maybe a potential replacement for the future. I went with George Carloftus as my like Derek Wolfe replacement for the future. Carloftus is a guy that I think is could be really effective on the interior of the defensive line because he doesn't have great length. He doesn't really bend the edge well, but he's stupid powerful, strong hands, great grip. So I think actually he works. I think he's a good comp for him. Could be like a Derek Wolfe, or at least in terms of how he's used. Yeah, I thought about going a different route for the Packers than I normally do, but hey, man, he happens to always be here. Drake London, dude. It makes a ton of sense. Get some legit receiving talent there. You'd be like, we got Devontae Adams. I bet you won't next year. The Cleveland Browns is a team that I feel like another team that could go anywhere because that team's got a wealth of talent. We could go with a receiver. I don't want to go with a receiver. I just don't. Not in this class. Let's take advantage of how I think we could take advantage of other spots. Like, dude, if Tyler Linderbaum was here, I'd pull the trigger on that. I like the idea of him as the heir apparent to J.C. Treader, but I went with let's get a little bit of muscle on that defensive line. And you'd be like, oh, they got some muscle, dude. Myles Garrett's a banger. I bet you Clowney resigns. He's having an extremely productive year. But what about the interior there? I went with Jordan Davis. I feel a lot better about Jordan Davis kind of in the 25 to 32 area than before. Like, he's an interior. He's a nose tackle with a little bit of pass rushing upside. A lot of the times he's relying on just his imposing size because he's 350, right? 6'6", 350, I believe. Let's see here. They got him listed as 340. Maybe he shed some weight. But he's a pretty good athlete for that size. But the pass, like, I get it. Like, we've seen good pass rushing upside. I think he's been outplayed by like a Devontae Wyatt, a Jalen Carter. But I think he has a bit more upside than Wyatt. And Carter, I don't think he's not eligible till 2023 where he'll be a first-round pick. I said it here first. But I like the idea of throwing Davis in there and just you got a good group on that defensive line. Like, again, this is a team that I think is very talented that could really go wherever they want. The Detroit Lions, I was thinking about going wide receiver, but like I was looking, I was like, slot, could go Pickens. That's actually a very real possibility. But I really think Dotson might be a guy that could succeed on the outside, despite lack of size. Because what is he? 5'11", 185, 184. I bet you he's not 5'11", dude. I bet you he's closer to 5'10", 5'9". I don't know. We'll see. But I really feel like they want these guys that could stretch the field vertically. Treylon Burks could be that guy, but again, I don't know if I feel that. I don't know if Treylon Burks is really a first rounder anymore. I've kind of like since the beginning of the year, I've kind of like faded off him. He really only has 1 or 2 games where he's really exploded. But like that Texas A&M game, actually that Texas A&M game might be the only game now that I think of it. It is what it is. Instead, I was like, I'm gonna improve the defense because pass rushing wise, this squad's not been that good, actually. Like, Romeo Okwara has been pretty good. Julian Okwara, they use on sub packages occasionally, not nearly enough. They should really use him more. But Trey Flowers isn't really that. He's more of an edge setter than an actual edge rusher. And I think he's a guy you could probably put along the defensive line at like a 5-tech. So I actually I wanted someone that could really get after it. I wanted length. I wanted explosiveness. I went Adam Anderson. So we add Adam Anderson and Kyle Hamilton in that defense. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. All right, we're down the stretch. Last 3 picks. Buffalo Bills, sticking with it. Man, this one was pretty tough. I was kind of hoping maybe Jordan Davis would have made it to this pick. Didn't happen. I thought about Darian Kendrick, Roger McCreary, Martin Emerson. I thought about who the next corner would be here, but I didn't really want to pull the trigger. Jordan Battle, I think, is actually a pretty good option here too. But I ended up going with offensive line. You'd be like, you went tackle? Well, Sean Ryan, I think, could play guard as well in the NFL. And the Bills, in terms of their offensive line, it's been the guard position that's been... your guard position kind of sucks. So I think Sean Ryan could kick inside. Actually, Darrell Williams probably could too. And I know Spencer Brown ideally is your right tackle of the future. So honestly, Sean Ryan, maybe left guard. Darrell Williams, right guard. I kind of like that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guess what? This is a team that has it all. They have everything. This is a luxury pick. Cornerback depth would be nice. I think you just fill that in with some veteran presence there. I ended up going safety. Jordan Battle just feels too good to pass up at this point. You could make a case for Jalen Catalon. Jalen Catalon is probably going to be my second safety, but I feel like Jordan Battle is probably more of what they're looking for. A guy that might be really good around the line of scrimmage. He could kick inside into the slot. I think you could do a lot of fun things with him. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. I wish I could have went with edge rusher. Like, I thought about it. Like, Nick Bonito, oh, man, I really think he deserves to go in the first round. It was just hard to find, like, a good spot for him. Like, I really liked Tennessee as, like, one of the spots. I think Denver would be a fun place for him. It was just really finding the right fit. Because you got to keep in mind, this guy, I feel like he's going to be a real scheme fit. First, like, he's going to be more scheme dependent than most of the edge rushers in this class. Zach Harrison's kind of fallen from grace. As y'all already know, I love Brandon Cox, but I don't think he's first round worthy. So I didn't go edge. I was like, are there any interior players that Spagnuolo might love? Perrion Winfrey came to mind. Dude's very twitchy. He seems like a guy he'd probably throw on the outside, opposite of Chris Jones. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Daryl Sorensen, as much as he is like a locker room leader, he's not that great. I wanted to grab a guy that was very versatile because the Chiefs really like playing 3 safety sets with Sorensen, with Juan Thornhill, with the Honey Badger. So I went actually Daxton Hill. He's playing primarily slot this season, but he is a guy that can definitely play, like, be your like center fielder, your single high. He has that capability. He was doing it for Michigan the year before. I don't know why he's playing slot like only now. So we know this guy can play around the line of scrimmage. He could probably play in the box as well. I like Daxton Hill for this pick. Catalon, man, dude, Catalon deserves to be in the first round. I like him better than Battle. I like him better than Hill. It just really comes down to what you're looking for, you know? And I feel like Battle and Hill kind of fill those roles out better for these two teams. I don't know, but yeah, this is my draft. This video is running too long, so go ahead, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.